Hi everyone, it's Beth. Today we're going to be making a super cute windmill sign. I used 5 large stir sticks. Those I got from Home Depot. One of Dollar Tree's windmill welcome signs. Super jumbo popsicle sticks. One of Dollar Tree's little mini crates. Florals and floral moss. Some Waverly elephant chalk paint, white chalk paint. Some brown wax and hot glue. The first thing I did was remove that welcome sign from the windmill itself. It took a little bit of coaxing to get it out of there. I took off the very front circle in the center and then just kind of bent the center so it would pull out from the back. Next, I lined up the stir sticks so they were alternating with the indent going one way and then going in the opposite direction the next. Took the jumbo popsicle sticks, cut them down, and then hot glued them to the back. And the back will have the measurements on the stir stick, so you won't see those on the front. Next, I took the white chalk paint and painted the whole sign in 2 coats. And then I took the Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant, painted the windmill, and I did that front and back. And I also ended up using 2 dowels, some larger ones, and then 2 really small ones, and painted those in the Waverly chalk paint and Elephant as well. And I hot glued back on the center of the windmill. Just let that sit there for a second till it dried. Next, I took some of the American decor wax and a sponge brush, and I just ripped the sponge brush apart and cut off a piece of it and kind of just dabbed on some of the wax and put that right on top of the whole windmill. Kind of just sponged it on so it kind of looked a little bit rusty. I did that to the windmill and the dowels. Next, I took the super jumbo popsicle sticks and cut them in half, and I ended up doing way more than I needed. I did end up only needing 4 popsicle sticks cut in half, so 8 pieces. And then I just took one end of the stick I had cut and kind of put it at a point. And once I had one how I liked it, I just lined that up with the next one and traced out that point and then cut those down. Once they were all cut, I did end up using a sanding block and sanding down the edges of those. After all of those were prepped, I took the Waverly white chalk paint and painted the crate and all of those popsicle sticks cut down. After they were all dry, I took the popsicle sticks and glued them to the front of the crate, making it look like it was a little fence. I glued on the end pieces first on the front, and then lined up the center ones so they'd all be even. And then glued those on, so I used 4 on the front. And then I glued 2 on either side. I left the back plain because we'll be gluing that to the sign. Next thing I did, I just kind of set the windmill down where I was going to be putting it and lined it up. Put the dowels on there, lined those up to where I was going to need them. So I kind of put the top of the dowel in between that center stir stick at the top, and then marked it off with a pencil where I was going to need the glue, and then set that back down. And did the same thing with the other dowel, trying to get it as even as possible. Marked it off with a pencil, and then ran my hot glue down those pencil lines. And set that dowel down on there. And then I took the really tiny dowels, cut those down to size, and made those in a shape of an X in between those larger dowels, and hot glued that down. And then I took the windmill and put hot glue on the back. It has like a little bump out on there, so I just made sure the hot glue was covering the side so it would glue to those dowels up at the top. Just place that right in between the dowels and let that dry there. Next, I took my little fence box I had made and measured out where I was going to be gluing that down. And I measured up about 1.5 inches on either side to make sure it was nice and even, and then marked off the top where I would be putting the hot glue. So I just hot glued individually on the stir stick so we didn't have a bunch of glue sticking through the creases in there. So put plenty of hot glue on there and then glued that crate right down. And then I took some floral foam and hot glued that right inside of that crate. Next, I took the floral foam and hot glued that right inside the crate as well. Last thing I did was took some florals from Dollar Tree, cut them down, and then just arranged them in that floral box. I did not hot glue them down or anything in case I wanted to change out the florals. And that is it. I just thought this turned out so pretty. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.